Let's see how to compare fractions. Now we have three fractions in front of us: 2 over 5, 3 over 5 and 4 over 5. So looking at the diagram, we know that 2 over 5 is less than 3 over 5 and it is less than 4 over 5. It is easy to tell which one is bigger and which one is smaller because these all are like fractions. So like fractions are those where the denominator is same. That means you have divided the object into equal parts. So when you know the numerator is greater, then the fraction is greater because you have selected more parts. So it is easy to tell which is bigger and which is smaller for like fractions. How about unlike fractions? How to compare those? Let's look at an example. Let's look at these two fractions, 1 over 4 and 4 over 8. Now, to be able to compare this easily, let's see how it would look in a diagram. So now you see the first square shows that the square is divided in 4 parts and one is colored. And the second one is divided into 8 parts and 4 parts are colored. So now you know that the second diagram, rather than saying 4 out of 8 are colored, can also be written as 2 out of 4 parts are colored. That means 4 over 8 is equal to 2 over 4. This is an equivalent fraction. So once you make 4 over 8 as 2 over 4, it is easy to compare with 1 over 4. And now we can say that 1 over 4 is less than 2 over 4. That means 1 over 4 is less than 4 over 8. So what do we do for unlike fractions? Where unlike fractions are those where the denominators are not equal. So we first convert these into like fractions. To convert that, what we do? We find equivalent fractions with a common denominator. So as long as we find a common denominator for both the fractions, they become like fractions and then we can compare those easily. Now, how do you find a common denominator? Common denominator is essentially an LCM because LCM means the lowest common multiple. So lowest common multiple can become your common denominator and then you can come up with equivalent fractions. Let's take another example, 3 over 5 and 2 over 3. Now we want to know which fraction is greater and which one is smaller. Now how do we do that? First we have to find a common denominator. A common denominator here would be its LCM. LCM of 3 and 5 is 15. So now let's use this 15 as common denominator and let's find equivalent fractions for 3 over 5 and 2 over 3. So for 3 over 5, what we do is that we know that the LCM is 15. So we want to convert the denominator to 15. So we multiply the denominator by 3. Since we multiply the denominator by 3, to make it 5 multiplied by 3 equal to 15, we should multiply the numerator also by 3. So the numerator becomes 3 multiplied by 3 equal to 9. Now in case of 2 over 3, the denominator should be made 15. So we multiply the denominator by 5. Therefore we also multiply the numerator by 5. So 2 over 3 becomes 10 over 15. So now you see that the fractions are converted to like fractions and it is easy to compare. So we know that 10 over 15 is bigger than 9 over 15 and that means 2 over 3 is greater than 3 over 5. So how we do the comparison? We always find LCM of the denominators first. Then using the LCM, we find equivalent fractions where the LCM is the denominator and then we compare the like fractions. Now let's see some more examples here. 17 over 50 and 14 over 50. So here you see the fractions are like fractions because the denominator is same. So we know that 17 over 50 is greater than 14 over 50. Now let's look at another example. 3 over 4 and 4 over 6. Now these are unlike fractions. So we have to find the LCM first. LCM here for 4 and 6, LCM of the denominators. So LCM for 4 and 6 is 12. Now let's use the LCM as the denominator to find out equivalent fractions. So now we want to make a denominator for both of these fractions as 12. Let's multiply numerator and denominator both by 3 for 3 over 4, so it becomes 9 over 12. In case of 4 over 6, we need to multiply denominator and numerator by 2 to make the denominator 12, so the fraction becomes 8 over 12. So you can see that 9 over 12 is bigger than 8 over 12. That means 3 over 4 is bigger than 4 over 6. Now let's look at this next example. This is a little bit different. What we have here is that we have one mixed number and we have one fraction. So to compare these, what we need to do? Let's convert the mixed number to a fraction. How do we convert that? We multiply the whole number and the denominator. So 2 ones are 2. Add the numerator. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So now the fraction is 3 over 2. It is easy to compare 3 over 2 and 5 over 2 because these are now like fractions. So we know that 3 over 2 is smaller than 5 over 2. Therefore, 1 and 1/2 is smaller than 5 over 2. Now this example is little bit different. What we have here is we have one mixed number and another number as an improper fraction, and also their denominators are different. So what is the first step? Let's convert the mixed number into an improper fraction. So 3 2's are 6 plus the numerator, which is 2. So 6 plus 2 is 8. So this first fraction becomes 8 over 3. The second fraction is 11 over 4. Now these are unlike fractions. So let's convert it to like fractions. LCM of 3 and 4 is 12. Now we want to convert these fractions into equivalent fractions with denominator as 12. So 8 over 3. Let's multiply the denominator and the numerator by 4. So the denominator becomes 12. Now 8 4's are 32. 3 4's are 12. So the equivalent fractions is 32 over 12. Let's look at the other one, 11 over 4. Now we multiply the denominator by 3 because we want the denominator to be 12. So we also need to multiply the numerator by 3. So 11 3's are 33, 4 3's are 12. The equivalent fraction is 33 over 12. Now when you compare these two, you know that 33 over 12 is greater than 32 over 12. That means 11 over 4 is greater than 8 over 3. That means 11 over 4 is greater than 2 and 2 over 3. This is how you can compare different fractions. If those are like fractions, it's easy to compare. If those are unlike fractions, first we make them like fractions, we convert them into like fractions. If those are mixed numbers, then we have to first convert the mixed number into an improper fraction and then see if they are like or not, and if they are unlike, then convert them into like fractions and then compare.